Hey everybody, 8-Bit Josh here, and welcome back to Aurora Park. Alright, so we're back into the regular old time-lapse episodes. There's no park overview in this episode like there was in the last one. I hope you guys enjoyed that though. It was a bit different, and it was highly requested, so I figured, I'll give it a shot since we've made a lot of pretty good progress in the park. But here we're making a new dome, and inside this dome is, as you can see, a monorail station. And then we're also going to build a roller coaster, and the roller coaster will start out in the dome you see here. It'll go underground and it'll pop up inside of another dome. So we don't get it completely, we don't get everything completely built in this episode. It's taken quite a bit. There's a lot of detail going on because not only do I have the dome to build, but I have the monorail station building, I have the roller coaster, plus the station building for the roller coaster, and plus the second dome where the roller coaster is. So there's quite a lot that I did in this episode, and it's still not complete, but it's pretty good. We have all the base stuff done. But what you're seeing here is I'm actually building, because the monorail is going into the dome, so I used those same little entrance tunnels you see for the monorail. So as it kind of enters into the dome, it goes through that little circular kind of tube entrance that we have there. And again, just connecting this dome with the other dome we have using the little modular glass tunnels that I made. Actually made those tunnels on a live stream a few weeks back, and that was a lot of fun. But they're super useful because, being that they're modular, so I can kind of make them whatever length I want, and depending on where the domes are going to be in relation to each other. And then so yeah, here we are building the next roller coaster, which oddly enough is only the second roller coaster in the park so far. This one's a little smaller than Smuggler's Run that's over in Smuggler's Den. And I actually had a little bit of a challenge actually trying to get it to fit inside this dome, and then you'll see kind of in the next dome popping it out of the ground, and just kind of making it interesting, because when it dips down underground like this, it loses a lot of the momentum, and I was having trouble getting it to kind of keep up its speed. So what I actually ended up doing is, well, actually, yeah, I cut it out, but what I tried to do is I made like another little lift hill, and I really didn't like the way it looked, to be perfectly honest, but I was able to make it work out. Made sort of like a little kind of odd shaped like figure 8 shape there, and that seemed to work out okay. It's not a terribly long roller coaster. It's pretty short actually, and so there I had to add just a tiny little lift hill right at the top of that hill, because it just wasn't, the car just wasn't cresting over the hill, but it worked out all right. And the overall stats of this are pretty good. The let's see, the excitement and the, what is it, the fear or the nausea? It's the nausea, I believe, are in the, or no, the is it excitement, fear, nausea, or is it excitement, nausea, fear? I can't remember off the top of my head. But the first two, the excitement and then the next one, are kind of in the yellow. And then the third stat, which I think is nausea, is green. So that means, it's not very sick, or it doesn't get people sick, but it's got a decent excitement, and it's got, decent fear level, I guess you could say. Probably because it just like dips like way down underground and dips out and stuff like that. But yeah, and then here it was kind of nice because I already have these domes built. So basically I just copied one that we already used and that way for this dome where the roller coaster is, I was able to just copy it and not have to worry about building a new one. I had to build a new one in the other dome we were just in where the monorail station is because it's a lot bigger. It's the biggest dome so far. It'll probably be the biggest dome. I don't plan on building another one quite that big, but yeah, this dome, there's not a lot. There's probably not going to be a lot in here. Definitely needs to add. I definitely need to add like trees and things. There'll probably be a shop, probably a restroom as well, because I don't think we have restrooms in the Tropa Gardens section of the park yet. You know, all like the domes. Oh wait, no, that's not true. I take that back. In the other dome, yeah, there's. I forgot for a second because we have a building in there with the Missy Good, and I forgot kind of like off to the corner. I put a restroom in there as well. So probably won't do a restroom. We'll figure out. We'll put something else, some other shop, a drink shop maybe, because I don't believe we have one of those. We have the other dome is a Missy Good, which is the donut place. So a drink shop of some kind would probably be good. But here, yeah, I'm building this is the building for the station for the roller coaster, and I'm trying to give it that retro kind of 60s vibe, I guess, with it. So like I used the castle pieces there, the castle tile pieces, and I just colored them white, which they're not like totally white, but they're more of like a gray. And then I'm using these the wood column pieces, and I colored them like a bright red. And I think you'll see as we kind of build on, I think it looks pretty cool. Just using the beams here as like supports and underneath the roof. So this isn't really going to be like completely enclosed. It has a roof and the sides there, but it's not going to have on either side. It's not going to be enclosed with walls. So it's more of just like a little kind of cover, not really like a entire like indoor building, I guess you could say. So yeah, just again trying to mix it up with you know, just the way it looks in this area, going with the whole vintage vibe, and I think it works out pretty well. And so what I did, so what I'm doing here, I just copied the piece, and you know, I think it looks pretty good. I was trying to figure out, I like these that slanted roof piece there, but there's not one that's at the same angle but that's shorter, if you know what I mean. So what I ended up having to do, well, here I'm just building or placing the queue and then the path, which I end up actually deleting and placing again later, just because I don't remember why I had to do it. Oh, I think I actually moved the entire roller coaster like back a little bit, and it just kind of threw off the angle where the entrance and the paths there are. So I had to rebuild them. But yeah, so I had to delete the sides here because obviously we don't want the roller coaster clipping through the wall. But I made it work out using the red column or red beams there, kind of building just like a little, almost like scaffolding kind of look, I guess you could say. And I think it worked out pretty well. I would have liked to have like that same slanted roof piece, but like half the length. But the game doesn't have that, or at least I don't think it does. I mean, I looked and I'm pretty sure it doesn't have that piece, but it still worked out pretty well. I think I'm happy with how it turned out. This still needs some detailing as well. It's not completely done, but at least the base structure of that's complete. But yeah, so let's see. Let's read comment from the last episode, which the last episode, like I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, was actually mostly a real-time kind of overview of the park so far. So if you're curious about that, definitely go check out the last episode. because it's like, I think there's only like 5 minutes of time lapse at the beginning, and then all the rest of it is a real-time overview. But so Shane Essery, and I believe that's Stitch. Must have Stitch. You must have changed your username. But he said, "Man, this was a great episode. Gave us a real good look around the park so far. You sure can design. Also, I had those rotational issues in my studio park. Haha, frustrating. Aurora Park rocks though. Thanks, dude." Yeah, it was the rotational issues I was talking about in the last episode, trying to rotate the spokes that come down from the domes. I was having issues with that in the last episode, but yeah, you know, I'll probably do like another overview episode sometime in the future. Not anytime like soon, but once we get the dome section done, Atropa Gardens is what it's called, and then maybe the next section, once that's either started or almost complete, I'll do like another overview, real-time overview like that, because I think it went over pretty well, and it was a requested thing for a few of my viewers over the last 15 episodes. So I don't mind doing that every once in a while. I think it worked out pretty well. So here I realized, well, after I built this little building, I have to redo the roller coaster, and the intention the entire time was for it to kind of like go over the queue and the path there and the building, but just the way I ended up building the structure, it kind of clips through the roller coaster. So what I end up doing is I delete that little bit of the roller coaster and kind of adjust it a little bit later. But yeah, so here I'm just bringing these red beams down so they go right down into the ground, so it looks like they're supporting the whole structure. Obviously there's holes right there where the roller coaster goes in, but that'll be cleaned up probably in the next episode, and yeah, just to make that look a little neater and a little nicer. And so yeah, here I'm redoing the hill that goes over top of the building, and it works out pretty well actually. I was kind of worried, like, am I gonna be able to make it connect to the piece? And it connected right away, and there were no issues there. I did have to redo the lift hill though, so that's what I'm doing here, and I was trying to figure out, all right, what's the best angle I can get it, and so I decided to make it kind of curve off to the side before it starts going up, and that gave us a little bit more room to kind of manipulate the chain lift hill, and that worked out pretty well. And it also allowed us to add a little extra kind of little curve around, so you get it made the roller coaster just a little bit longer, not too much, but it does get really close to the queue for the monorail station, so I'm gonna kind of have to figure out what I'm gonna do with that. It may change it up a little bit, I don't know, we'll see, because even though the monorail station, this is like, everything's gonna be vintage themed, I still wanted the queue for the monorail station to match the other two we have, but kind of giving it that same vintage vibe. So I'll have to figure out the best way to do that, probably in the next episode once I start working on that. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. We got about another minute left to this video. I do want to say, I have been streaming a lot lately over on Twitch. I've been doing a lot of Planet Coaster, and we've been having a lot of fun lately. I've been doing my Temple of Doom ride, and sometimes I do Aurora Park. But make sure, the link is down in the description to my Twitch channel. Make sure you click that link and give me a follow. That way you can join in on the fun, because yeah, it's been it's been a lot of fun lately. A lot of people chatting up and you know, making suggestions, and we've been having a good time. But yeah, so be sure to leave your comments, suggestions, and feedback down below. And I am 8-Bit Josh, and thanks for watching. See ya.